dear Scorpio. This is your love and spirituality reading for the month of December 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. We are soon entering into Sagittarius season, so wish all Sagittarius out there a happy birthday. And I hope you have had a lovely November, especially you Scorpios that just have celebrated or are about to celebrate your birthday. I myself have had time to recuperate and have some days off. I have been able to both rest and get a lot of things done that was falling behind. So also feel up to speed with the personal readings. And if you want one of those, you can go to my website www.queenofcupstarot.se and check out the process. I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And you can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting, donating and subscribing to my channel. I am so grateful for all of your appreciation. And this is a general reading for Sun, Moon and Rising signs. And for some people, the story I read can be in the reverse. The energy is the same. You are all the same of the drama, hopefully depicted in the cards, but it can be different castings to the different roles by the universe. For this reading, I will use the Druid Craft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gomm, illustrated by Will Worthington, and I will start shuffling your cards. So, my dear Scorpio, see what's going on here with you. We have the Seven of Wands and Five of Pentacles. So Seven of Wands is standing up against your adversaries, and Five of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold. So I'm thinking it's like this, that many of your relationships or your attempts to be in relationships have panned out to be like a little bit of a war, that you always need to defend yourself against people that maybe are not particularly nice. That makes you feel a little bit lonely, a little bit left out in the cold, but not much else to do than to stand up for yourself, because it's like the universe is testing you to say no to stupid relationships or stupid deals or stupid offers that's not good enough for you. So rather be on your own and feel a little bit lonely than to compromise yourself in a way that's hurtful for you. Okay. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we see the Five of Wands together with the Five of Pentacles. So it might be petty arguments, stiff competition, struggles. It's like a dog-eat-dog world. So it might be that you have a little bit negative view on humanity as a whole, or just the part of humanity in which you hold residence. So it seems like your relationship is a little bit difficult. These both cards are connected to the High Priest, so it's about society and the difficulties with dealing with other people in society. Okay, so I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, and here we see the Nine of Wands with the Five of Pentacles. So it's kind of what we started with, the Seven of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. Maybe you don't want any people at all in your life. It seems like past struggles have made you kind of give up on certain relationships. You have drawn a line in the sand. Enough is enough. You have been putting in a lot of effort into this, and it seems to go nowhere. So why continue the struggle? We can also see that you're hurt here, and that you have put up this fence against, if anyone more wants to come and have a go at it, they won't even come near at this point. You don't even going to have to fight them. So it's connected to the Nine Hermit. So it's about walking alone, being alone, the lonesome hero. So it's a little bit sad, but I think it's necessary for you Scorpios to define what you are willing to compromise with to be loved by other people. So I call the six elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. So I want my dear Scorpios to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, Oh, so it was done. Just needed to fall over a little bit. Okay, so I will just tune into your energy, Scorpio, and this reading for a few seconds here. Okay, so my dear Scorpios, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. So in the past we have a Princess of Cups. So I think you had a very good idea of how relationship could be, and you wanted to take part of this relationship and offer your friendship, offer up your time, and open up your heart. So it seems very beautiful, like someone that has the willingness to be a part of and to share gifts with others. So pure intentions. And this is what it lead to, 10 of Swords. So it can feel, of course, very unjust, but it's kind of a lesson into choosing the right crowd, and maybe that you don't suit any kind of crowd. Maybe it is that Scorpio are a little bit special. You are fire and water. You are the rising phoenix from the ashes. You are a little bit like the sacred clown. So maybe not all relationships are for you. Maybe you need to seek out the very wise people, or the people that have a little bit alternative worldview, or the people that can see past the mask that people's carrying, or other kind, maybe theatrical people dealing with creativity and stuff like that. Maybe eco villages and other kind of things. 10 of Swords. It's like you are too beautiful, or not too fragile. I don't feel Scorpio is fragile, but you are too unique for this world in some context. So 10 of Swords, when you are coming with your uniqueness to the ordinary human tribe, this is what they do with you, because you are this sacred clown, this carrier. It's like we can see this with many people, like Jesus, for example. His uniqueness didn't lead to so much good for his body, at least, and it's a little bit same story for you. Even though you might not be Jesus and having the same quality, it's a little bit the same story, how we are being treated when we are not following what is expected of us. And from Scorpio you can expect the unexpected, so you are not like a common individual on earth. You have your particular uniqueness. And here we have your future, and it's the 8 of Swords. So you're now thinking, maybe I need to conform, maybe I need to become more like these other people, or choose to end up alone. But I don't think you have. With this age of internet and all these things and information being spread, I think you can find your own crowd, like the people that will understand you. Great thinkers will not be understood in a room full of ordinary people. They might need to seek out other great thinkers to actually have an exchange that can be worth something. To just be with whomever might not also not intellectually or emotionally satisfy you. Maybe you are not satisfied with talking about the weather and diaper changes on the little child there sleeping in the bedroom, or food cooking, or where to go to the next vacation. Maybe you need some more food for thought, or more fantastic conversations, and then you need to find fantastic people that can have these kind of conversations with you, instead of trying to conform and endure things that is not really for you. Okay, so this is the past, and we have a 5 of Cups. So already here you kind of saw that you were disappointed on the world and the relationship that you were offered, maybe also on humanity as a whole. You're looking on this dog eat dog world and seeing that, well, this is all crap, but you actually have missed out on the people that you would be a magical fit together with, and you just see the general population instead of looking at people that could benefit from being with you, and you could benefit from being with them. So you might need to look outside your ordinary circuits to find the people that you can have a good fit with. Here we have the High Priest, and it's the 5 that I was talking about. Society, what humanity has built up till now, the culture, the wisdom, our library. There's a lot of things that still is to be found out, and Scorpios are these kind of people that usually finds out these new things and putting them into the library of our social community. But coming with new stuff isn't always welcome. To think outside the box might irritate people that want to just have what they have always had. Scorpios are not particularly conservative. You are looking for what can be new, what can be introduced, and other people might try to defend what they already know. They don't want to hear about new stuff. New stuff might scare them. They don't want to know about chemtrails or what will happen when so much ice is melting in the Antarctic or whatever. They just want to talk about happy small things that make them feel at ease. Okay. High Priest. And here we have the Lovers. It might also be that this kind of clash between people being so different is actually very attractive. So you might find yourself falling in, if you are very witty with a great intellect, a vivid mind, you might fall in love with like timber logs, people that are not having had a new idea for 100 years. So that might be very attractive towards you, and you might identify this as falling in love with the wrong people. But maybe you came here to be the kind of injection that could make the new ideas spread also among the most conservative. Have you thought about that? Maybe that's why your life is so hard. You were not designed to become socially accepted and welcome. You were designed to come with new uncomfortable ideas and spread them to the masses. And that might not be an easy work, but Scorpios are usually not given easy tasks, since you are this transformative sign that's changing things from one state to another. It's you are the gatekeepers for the new dimensions, the new ideas, the progress, and it might feel like you came here with this gift and then people weren't happy about it, but still you feel the attraction to keep on being with these people. So you might have something to teach them, and maybe they have something to teach you as well. Okay, so the past, it looks it's looked like the Beauty and the Beast kind of situation. So a very two different energies being attracted towards each other. And it leads to a lot of sorrow and hardship. It seems like an on and off again relationship. Here we are disappointed, and then we have passionate intercourse maybe, or some kind of gathering or spraying of ideas, and then we get tired of each other again, and I leave these stupid relationships behind. They are not giving me anything. They are just giving me a heartache and headache and pain. So I'm leaving them behind. So maybe a good idea could be to accept the differences, accept that there is this friction, because it seems like the friction is what's making the attraction as well. So maybe to not be so upset that you are not alike and you can't see eye to eye, and maybe accept also that you see things very differently, and you can agree to disagree. You can love each other even though you don't have the same way to see the world, and eventually you will crossbreed your ideas, and if we can have patience and love, these people that once were so much against your ideas will be the one that are the new commercial pillars for these new ideas with their other friends. You might have told them things that they say, nah, that's not the truth and you are wrong, and that might be right here where you live, but it's not right here where I live. Here we think totally different. And then they come to you 2 years later or 1 week later and they say, well, I noticed this thing that you said. I haven't noticed it until then, but when you have talked about it, I start to notice it. I told my friends, but they don't seem to like it at all. They don't like this idea. And you can say, well, sometimes we are like shamans. We see things before and ahead of time, and we can only spread the word. We can't make other people see the things we see. We can just tell them of the possibility that there's another way of seeing things. And here we have the Six of Cups. So that could lead to some kind of reconciliation when we start to identify that we don't have to be the same to still feel the love. So Six of Cups. Some of you might be returning to your families, relatives, making amends with old tradition and old family members, social ideas, things like this, and starting to reconcile with this, and maybe not seeing it as the biggest enemy in the world anymore. It might just be that you identify that certain people love their ideas. They don't want to change them so easily. Just because you come with a new, better one doesn't mean that they feel comfortable with that, and you just accept it. You don't make it personal. You don't make it about you. You just see that all human beings are different, and we are all getting comfort and safety from different things. Maybe you get comfort from seeing the new, and they get comfort from relying on the old. And it could easily be mended if people just accepted their differences. And here we have a Queen of Wands, and it comes underneath the Lover. So as I said, there's a lot of attraction here. So it's very hard to keep away from this person, or maybe there's a person that have run away from you, has a very hard time keeping away from you because they feel magically drawn towards you, even though they might feel that you are dangerous, that you are maybe a sexy witch, or maybe that you have self-respect and an honor in yourself that makes them feel inferior or intimidated, is what I'm feeling holding this card. You might also have a temper that they might be fearful of, but still you are very intriguing. You are an adventure. So I think they want this adventure even if they got burned by it in the past. So it's not only you that have been traumatized by this. Also, these other people are thinking about the same thing and how things went wrong. So I don't think in that perspective that you are so different. The result of the negativity in the relationship is affecting both sides equally, I think. But if you could love that, I think you love what's different. You love that you are different. So why change? It's like my first boyfriend that I had when I was going in after high school. It's college in English maybe, and he had this long hair, and I was telling him to cut off his hair because I thought that it looked a little bit funny. He was playing the drums and having long hair, and I wanted him to cut it off. And he cut it off, and I started to dream about him when he was still a drum player with long hair. And I looked at boys on the street that looked like that, with the long hair and a wild expression. So actually, I fell in love with that energy. But then I conformed this person into something that he was not. And he thought that I wanted, but I didn't know what I wanted, obviously. So I'm seeing a similar scenario here for Scorpio, not with the hair probably, but other things like viewpoints and Maybe you have different religious viewpoints, different political viewpoints, different world viewpoints. Maybe you see different things, what's going to happen to us when we die. And the exciting thing lies in the difference. And we have a Queen of Swords here. It came in the same position for Pisces and maybe someone else. Queen of Swords is when we don't, what I'm feeling here is when you don't want to, some person don't want to see things in the other person's way. So that might be very disappointing, of course. You might be dealing with some more rigid energy. Maybe a Pisces, or this can be Libra. We have Aquarius, maybe Gemini. It can be any sign. We have Taurus here, Gemini there. This is Aries, can be Sagittarius or Leo, and we have Cancer. So there's a lot of different energies. But if I describe this as a person together with the 5 of Cups and 8 of Cups, it's someone that doesn't have high hopes for humanity or their capacity to be good people. So this person doesn't, it's very hard to persuade them to try again, to reconcile, or to see things another way, because they have already made up their mind. Things are shit. The only thing that's not shit is themselves, and they are going to keep themselves out of the other shit. That's why they are on this big rock here, because they are keeping their feet dry from all the mud that's down there with the other people. So hell is other people, and all other people are wrong and this person are right. What we can see here is a big insecurity, feeling judged maybe by other people, and also not understanding them at all, not understanding what's driving them emotionally, or why they are clinging on to certain ideas. It might also be a person that has very hard time to forgive. Even though they have the best of memories from this situation, they also have the worst of memories from this situation. So it doesn't seem easy with this reconciliation, but it's still suggested in the middle card. So 6 of Cups, 6 the Lovers. I'm thinking the divine still wants you to reconcile with this energy. Either you are this person or that person. It might be 2 different sides with you. One being passionately in love and thinking that they can deal with everything, and the other one thinking, well, I'm too hurt by this, I don't want to engage anymore, I'm not going to even look in that way. So it might be this is your logical side of seeing things, but the heart wants what it wants, okay? And here we have a King of Wands as well. So King of Wands flanking the Queen of Wands shows that you are dealing with a soulmate. So it might be that you have been shipped to 2 different sides of 2 different energies. When you were born here, it was destined to become like this, so you could draw this energy together. Your attraction would draw these different energies together and make them fertilize each other. So it's like Romeo and Juliet kind of story going on here. And you think that it's best to be apart, but the divine said it's best to not be apart because you have an important mission. But the Queen of Swords, King of Wands, if this is the same person here, might be your male or female counterpart, is thinking that this is a bad idea. High Priestess, 6 of Cups, they love you a great deal and wants to be with you, but they are not going to give up their old ideas. And here we have a 7 of Swords, so that feels like an unsolvable situation, but it's not. They don't have to give up their ideas, you don't have to give up your ideas. You only need to care for each other and love each other despite you having different ways of seeing things on. Of course, if we get very defensive or very like attacking other people for having a different worldview, the relationship is going to be very uncomfortable. But if we can agree to disagree, I think the relationship has all the kind of future potential as possible. But then people also need to deal with their emotional stuff. For example, you might be in love with someone coming and going, and it might feel very insecure. You want someone to commit, but if you still love them, do you really need them to commit? Okay. I'm not saying that you should be in love with a person that maybe have a third party situation. That can be happening too. We need to put the boundaries we need to put, but we always need to question them and see, are they really necessary, or are they there because I haven't healed something else from the past? Because this can be you not tolerating a person because they have too great of a connection with an ex, for example, that actually can be just a friend. It doesn't look like this here, of course, but hypothetically, okay? and then you are worrying unnecessarily and destroying the relation unnecessarily. But on the other hand, if we can't trust our partner, maybe it's better to go separate ways. Okay, so I want to read the Six of Cups card, because it seems like there's a lot of hope for this situation. So we are not going to dive deeper into the problems of it all, but actually in the hope of it all. Sixes represent the places of balance, meeting, and union. At the level of the heart, linear time ceases to exist. It means that you will love a person that you lost thousands of years ago. If you meet them on the street, the love will be as intense as it was the time you died from each other in that lifetime. Yes, the mind uses linear time to break up experience in the past and present, but in the heart there is pure feeling which is not bounded by time. Instead, past and present merge, and there is only love, or any number of other feelings. We see that there's a lot of negative feelings attached to this as well. Maybe you don't trust them because they died from you, but they can't really help that they died in the Black Plague, for example. It's not like they abandon you by choice. Receiving this card in a reading may mean that you are working on integrating the gifts and the experience of your past, your childhood, or even past lives with your consciousness in the present. Nothing is ever lost to the heart, which is why you can meet those you love after a gap of years or even decades and still experience the same feelings. For this reason, the card may represent a reunion with an old friend or lover, or a re-establishing of a relationship with a person, group, or place which held a significance for you in the past. Sixes also represent the exchange that occur between two people or two levels of awarenesses, and so this card may be referring to an exchange of gifts, like your different ways of seeing things or feelings, or it could refer to heartfelt exchange between you and your surroundings. Steaming hot sex also with these two, Queen of Wands and the Six of Cups here. Yes, you might be developing a deep affinity for nature, for your garden, or for animals and trees, or you may be deepening your connection with your own sense of home, beautifying your house, for example. But with the Seven of Swords, you think probably that you are too unlike each other, or have two different ideas of what makes us happy to be able to move on with this situation. But what I'm thinking is that look at why you are scared of abandonment. It might be things that is not this person's fault. It might go way back. So with being with this person, you can actually learn to not be scared of being abandoned. You can experience abandonment again and again and realize that you survive each and every time, and that it actually makes you stronger because you're healing from these old abandonment issues. Okay, and here we have Oracles of the Angels with Mario Duque. See what's going on for Pisces. You have the same card as Pisces, yes. Oh, sorry, you have the same card that came for Pisces, but I actually asked Pisces. So what's going on for Scorpio? It might be that you are dealing with a Pisces, since you have some sharing of the cards. So we have here and now an appreciation. I can't really pronounce that word. I'm sorry. We start with the 4 because it's still for you. The Freudian wrong saying is always a sign, and not so much mistakes as road signs. So you spend a lot of time dwelling on events in your past and worrying about how the future may unfold. This card serves as a reminder that the only moment that counts is now. So return your focus to this present moment and be mindful of letting your thoughts drift away into the past or the future. Be conscious of your thoughts as they create your reality in every now moment. I live in the here and now and always conscious of my active presence within the universe and of my work on earth. I choose to live in the present moment. I am aware of what I create with my thoughts, my words, my deeds. I trust, for I know that all comes to me at the right moment when I'm ready. So very beautiful. And it's like you are this everlasting presence, and right now you are here with this person, and you might have been here with them before in another lifetime. Okay, 19. 19. So, you have been on a quest for greater understanding and knowledge for some time now. This card is an indication that the time has truly come to apply this acquired knowledge in a practical way to your real life. There will always be more to learn, but for now, focus on walking the walk. Demonstrate to yourself and those who love you what you have learned, and you'll see you come even farther than you imagined was possible. The laws of universal love take root in my life. I now apply everything I have learned during my spiritual quest. The knowledge of the mind will be transformed into life knowledge. I radiate love at all times. Light transforms my heart and my thoughts. So I'm thinking you can be more grown up about things than what you actually are. Or maybe you are now very grown up about things. So that you don't have to be affected by the same kind of drama or trauma that might have affected you here and breaking up this relationship several times. And here you have Notes from the Universe by Mike Doley. So for my dear Scorpio, given some cards. Thank you. Love in spite of it all. Before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, and wide-eyed curiosity among you about who would be the first in this life, we can say, to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, the first to get back up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare, to love in spite of it all. Is that you, Murgatroyd, the universe? I remember the glint in your eyes, all three of them, because it's indicate that this was in another dimension maybe. So it's talking about you decided to go down here with these people and see if you can love despite it all, okay, in spite of it all. So this is what I'm seeing you also trying to do, but the Seven of Swords makes it a little bit hard, this suspicious mind and not feeling safe among other people. It's not only about being right. In all tests of character, when two viewpoints are pitted against each other, in the final analysis, the thing that will strike you the most is not who was right or wrong, strong or weak, wise or foolish, but who went to the greater lengths in considering the other person's perspective. Don't you agree? The universe. Yes, so it's about trying to learn the other person's perspective. You can see here also how this coloring, the purple there and there and the pink there and there goes so well together. Okay, my dear Scorpios, if I said Pisces again, I'm sorry. Obviously very connected with the Pisces energy for some reason right now. Maybe that's a message for some of you with this Pisces energy here, to check into your feelings and connect with the universal you, the one with the three eyes, okay? So I want you to take really good care, and I welcome you back to my January reading, that I will perform in middle of December. And I also want to wish you happy holidays. Okay, bye-bye.